Audrey is sitting too far away, so
I'm sitting too far.
yeah. Okay, now oh, okay, can you sit a little bit to this side a bit? Okay, now we can lean forward and talk to our. Can you lean forward a little bit? Okay, today we are gonna discuss about this topic because we've been seeing a lot of people who wants to relocate from America, from Canada, and I every day I receive quite a few questions from my channel, like what it is like to stay here for long term. So that's the purpose of this live streaming, is to give you guys like our experience, to share with you our experience. So at the end of this channel, we will tell you whether or not it is advisable to stay here. And I think so it's really depending on individual, don't you think?
Yes, I think so.
Whether you are a digital nomad, or whether you are a retired person or couple. I've seen a lot of retired single people here.
Yes, I think
Huh?
so. Yeah,
I've
me
seen
too.
a lot. And we also see some family here, young families. So we want to give you guys like a very general. So from our experience, he's almost 70 and I'm almost 60. So we will share with you what we think, right? Whether or not Da Nang is or Vietnam is a good place for you to stay long terms. LG, what do you think in terms of lifestyle, for example?
If you are alone here in Vietnam, now we are in Da Nang, but if you are alone in Vietnam, uh, it can feel lonely if you don't have someone special.
Mm.
If you're a couple, it's easier, but if you're alone, then I think you should try to get some connection with some other foreigner,
Mm.
or you can find some Vietnamese
Mm.
which is good in English,
Mm.
so you can have a little bit of chat
Mm.
sometimes.
Like some connection,
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, I heard in Da Nang, there's a very good expat group on Facebook, and they meet like once a week, which I think is very good. It's every Sunday. I think they meet in town in a cafe, and then where they can meet up with local people and foreigner to practice English. So it's called a English speaking group. You can go and check it out. It's called English Speaking Da Nang Group. So you can join that group. Every Sunday they have a meetup. So I think that is really good that they have such a meetup.
Yeah.
So people can not only just associate or integrate with just among the foreigner or expat, they could also integrate with the local. Huh?
That's very smart.
Yeah. Then in that case, it's like a win-win situation.
Yes,
Huh?
absolutely.
I learned Vietnamese and then you teach me English. So that's how we learn. But what do you think? Like, do you find very boring here? Like after being here for almost 3 months now?
For me, I'm feeling a little bit, what could you say, I want to do something. I don't do so much here.
Yeah.
I
You
walk
feel like
a
you're
lot.
on holiday,
I'm
right?
eating a lot, but I don't train so much. And now I go to the bathroom and do some exercises.
Yeah, that's what he do. Every evening he will just, I hear he's doing something there, and then he's probably in the bathroom and doing sit up and pumping his
A little
chest,
bit.
and which is really good. I think in Da Nang you have to really, or maybe in anywhere, not just in Da Nang, you have to like keep active.
Yeah,
And
because in otherwise I think you will be bored if you don't take something and you will do something. Training, go those on Sundays when you're out walking. You try to speak to someone, ask something.
yeah, wow.
for the way,
Yeah, I
for
don't know.
example, just so you can talk a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's much easy. I mean, for me, I find that because I can easily talk to anyone. I think a bit shy for you, but I think now he's getting better. He's daring to ask, local people, which I think is really depending on your personality
Yeah.
also. If you are a bubbly person, not so introvert, you're daring to speak up and find connection. I don't think so it's a problem here because
No.
I think local people they actually do like to connect with the foreigner
Yeah.
to learn the language,
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, and learn where you're from
Mm.
a little bit. So
From my perspective, that is his perspective because I notice Swedish people, they are always like working with their hand, their brain, they're very creative, they have a hobby. So I can understand that he come here, he feel like he need to do something. For me as a Singaporean, I personally feel like even though Da Nang is not as, it's actually
small.
quite small,
Yeah.
It actually is very small. I mean, we haven't explored the external part of this city and the beach area. We went with a bike, and then we only went to Marble
Marble
Mountain,
Mountain,
we went to
Hoi
Hoi An, and then we went to this place where they have the reef, the
Yeah,
moss.
the reef moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't tried the
Mm.
trial
Yeah, the
road. No.
Hamban Pass. We haven't tried that yet, so we don't know. But for me, I personally feel being for somebody who live in Sweden and also my background is from Singapore, I would say that in terms of how bored is it? Singaporean, they always complain about, Singapore is so boring, nothing to do. I mean, most of the things are catered for tourism. So that's why they feel bored because it's too expensive to to have activities. Everything costs there. That's why Singapore nowadays they're having this try and make Singapore affordable again, like in the US. But I think it's different. But in Da Nang, I mean, there are a lot of free
Yeah,
activities.
a lot of free activities.
Yeah.
But many of things you can do here,
Mm.
it's for tourists,
Yeah.
and sometimes you wonder, it's just a tourist trap, okay? But it's everywhere in the world, in every country, you have tourist traps. But that's, yeah, you explore and look and find it nice to look at, but not maybe so often you can do something.
I think when you stay here for more than 3 months, you are beginning to be like we call in Swedish hemmablind.
Yeah.
Right? You don't see Da Nang or you don't see this place as a wow, everything is like, because why? You go to this path, you go to this road like 7, 8 times during this 60, 80 days, and then you feel like, oh, okay, you feel home, you feel settled. But another thing is that, it doesn't excite you anymore, and then you want to try to adventure out. So I think no matter how, I still find that Da Nang has a lot of place, not like in Singapore because Singapore is very small. Vietnam is actually very big. If you are adventurous enough, you can go with a bike around. If you are, brave enough, in the countryside, that's what we wanted to do also. But then, because of the because of our bike, we cannot get a bigger machine
Yeah,
bike.
because I don't have international driving license, so
Yeah.
I can only rent the
50cc.
the 50cc moped automatic,
Yeah.
and oh, it's cheaper, but you can't travel if you want to go outside Da Nang. You go there with 50 kilometers in an hour. It's too slow if you want to go away a bit.
Yeah.
If you want to go, say if you go
Hoi An,
Hoi An,
Hanoi.
it's maybe, but what is Hui?
Hue, you
Yeah,
want to go to
if
Hue?
you want to go to Hui, you don't go with the 50cc. It's go too slow. You will go with the rhythm in the traffic. Let's at 80, 100 kilometers per hour, maybe.
I think Vietnam is a bigger, much bigger country compared to Singapore, but it's a smaller country compared to Sweden. But then I feel like there is a lot of places that you can visit, and really depending on yourself. If you are active like we used to do in Sweden, you will find it's very interesting, and you have the right vehicles or the right kind of bike, you can actually travel far, and I think it can be quite interesting, right?
Yeah,
To visit places like different parts of Vietnam.
yeah. But
And
there is another thing. It's the cost. It's maybe not very expensive to rent a car or rent a motorbike, but if you do that, you have another car at home you're also paying for.
yeah,
So you are
exactly.
double
Yeah,
costs in a way.
yeah.
But that's something you have to think about when you leave from home. How will I do? Will I spend more money? Okay, you can spend more money, of course. Then you can go, or you can go away for a day or two or three and have double cost of living here.
Because right now we are staying in a hotel, and if we are going away like for a few days, you're actually paying double on the rental because you need to book like a hotel there. The one thing good about in Da Nang, especially this hotel that we are staying, is very cheap. So even though if we have to like go away, let's say 2 days,
Yeah.
it's still not so much of a
Cost.
cost for us. So I still feel like, no matter how Da Nang is still a very attractive, or maybe Vietnam is a very attractive place if you are active enough. But if you are introvert, that can be a problem because first of all, you have to, like, you are so restricted, right? You don't connect with people because if you join a group, because receive a lot of notice every day from this Facebook group, they were asking like, hey, it's weekend, shall we meet for picnic, or oh, it's Friday evening, shall we meet for a drink, at the pub. They always ask this question. So I would say that there are opportunity for you to meet up, but for our age, we don't really feel that's a need for us to like meet other people. So we felt like we should like take it easy. For me, I felt like I want to take it easy. I do not know about you.
Yeah, yeah, of course I want to take it easy. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But still, that is something you want to do something, but okay, you take up your wallet and then you maybe do it.
Maybe start a group, like a hobby group, huh? Like let's say people want to learn bench press or what, then maybe this guy can, start a group, and then maybe, get a few people to train together. I think that could be quite fun.
But I reckon these gyms that around us here, all of them have personal trainers.
Okay.
Yes, and they have groups. So for
That's
me
good.
to start, that's a little bit of silly because maybe if I go with a friend, we can interact and teach
Yeah.
each other. But start a group here, that's not nothing for me to do
Because you're not
that,
permanent here.
yeah, because then I take away for the guys who is doing it for the living. I'm not doing
No. What I mean is like starting like a small group, like for people who
Yeah.
like to train, and then they like to just want to hang out, and then they will say, oh, okay, this weekend I'm going there to train. Anyone want to join me? Or you all can help each other to do the lifting,
Yeah,
right?
in that way, yes, but not start a group in the way Monday at
No,
1600,
no,
every Monday
no,
at 1600
no,
we come together 5,
no,
10 guys.
no,
No, that's
no.
not the
No,
proper
that's
way
not what I
here.
meant. No,
Okay.
that's not what I meant. I meant like just like a
Okay.
meet up, with people who wants to, improve their powerlifting, or or
Yeah.
just check and hang out. I think it would be quite good. So for me, definitely for long terms, really depend on family. If let's say if you're a family of with small children, it's actually quite limited. I do not know about the car here because if you're going to have a car here, and I don't think so you could own a car here because you need to have like a Vietnamese citizen for you to like get like maybe a bank, or if you buy maybe not so expensive car. I don't know how that
No,
works.
no, I don't know either.
But I think if you have small family, I've seen people with small family, and then all the members are on the bike. Just imagine two adult and two kids, sitting on a bike. It's not that safe. And especially here in Da Nang or maybe in other part of Hoi An, I think Hoi An is worse, yeah. The traffic there is like crazy. I don't think so it's so safe for the children to be on the bike, with a parent without helmet. That's
We
terrible.
have another way of seeing it in case of driving with children on the moped, or I say moped, but the bike, in sense of if you not afraid of hurting the small children when they fell off the bike, for example. So they have another way of thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed they are really good in biking. They are very fast
They
in.
very skilled.
They are
That's
very
not.
skilled. I have no doubt about their skill, but I still feel like small children shouldn't be. At least they should have helmet and they should be protected. And I also felt like for people who are digital nomad, like they work online, for them to stay here like permanently, I think could be a problem too, because if you stay here and you start a business, for example, if you are like starting a guide business, taking people from the airport and then show them to the hotel and all that. I know people who do that, but you can get into serious problem because this business require you to register, because if you don't, because I know one girl from, I think she was from Australia or New Zealand, and she started business like that, and she was fined really, I think it was like $800 she was fined. So if you want to start a business here, make sure you check, all right, the registration, how does it work in terms of tax, because I understand, like if you stay here for more than half a year, you have to pay certain amount of tax. I think it was like 30%. And also if you stay like lesser, you have to pay maybe 60 days or 30 days, I can't remember. You have to pay like 25%, which is quite high. And then also you have to register. If you don't, you're gonna be in trouble. They know, because they have access, they have resource, and they will be at the airport and watching you, hey, what are you doing? You're gonna get fined, if you're not careful. I think it's better to check with the authority.
Yeah.
And I think for people like us, whether or not we can stay longer, I don't think so we can stay longer than 6 months. I mean, we don't talk about just Da Nang, right? We've been staying here for like soon 3 months here.
15th of April we have been away 3 months.
Yeah.
So we have been away 2 months and 10 days maybe now.
But what about you? I want to hear from you first. After this period of staying here, what do you feel about, being here, doing the daily routine?
Yeah, it's quite nice to take it easy, okay. But I have a house at home. We have a cat at home, not alone. She's taking care of a friend of us. All that things is nagging a little bit, because you have to maintain the house. Now I can do set the temperature inside and so by an app, but if something breaks down, I had to call my son and he has to go there and fix it in some way.
I think we have to let them know we are here for just the winter. We want to extend our summer. That's why we are here. We want to get away from our Swedish winter. So we need to prepare, like get a lot of preparation because we have commitment in Sweden. For me, I personally feel like if you were to stay here for more than 2 months, if just alone Da Nang, it can be a little bit I wouldn't call it boring because we are quite good in like sourcing for things to do every day. I don't know how you feel. Do you feel bored when we are here with all those activities that we have done?
I'm not bored, but it's a lot of walking. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's not the thing that, but it's a lot of walking and every day
Mm.
walking takes when and when we walk we have a purpose. We go from the hotel to inside the city.
Mm.
It's about 3 kilometers. It's not so far, but it takes times because we don't have hurry.
Yeah. And
We don't
also,
want to sweat ourselves
yeah.
if we will go there because it can be warm and you have to slow down a little bit, not go so fast. You get so sweaty when you come to the town,
Mm.
and then you will have to go back. But then
Mm.
we take a grab in the late evening to
Yeah.
go home because it goes faster.
It was faster and it can be quite chilling at night also.
Can be, yeah.
So, but my question is like, during these 2 months plus when we were here, I started to feel like a little bit, not bored, but then a little bit.
It's the same. It's
The same
It's the
thing
same.
because Dana itself, we walk all over the place. We comb every street here, and we know where are the good place for shopping and all that. But for me, I felt like when you reach the stage of 2 months, I think that is where the interest will drop. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you will still start to feel like, oh, what am I doing here? I'm doing the same thing like we walk. But luckily we are quite good in like finding things. And I seriously see ourselves coming back again, but we'll not be staying here like for 3 months in just Da Nang alone. I would love to have the opportunity like to explore like other places, not like 1 month here and 1 month there. No. What I meant is like we can be booking a hotel, like let's say 1 month in Da Nang, and then maybe we go a few days away to maybe Hoi An and stay there like a week or so, and then from there we move again.
Even further.
Yeah.
Saigon or
Oh, I know Saigon.
no, not Saigon. Yeah, you're right. But there are other towns
Yeah.
in Vietnam which can be nice to meet. Helsinki.
Yeah.
And before you do go,
Mm.
you look it up so you can see if there's something special to see.
Yeah. Take for example, when we were out in the city, we look at those places and then we look at the map and then we thought that we haven't been to this road before. So we went and we see, hey, I think we've came here
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
times, So you can say Da Nang is not big and then you don't want to walk the same street like 2-3 times,
No, you want to walk.
You want to explore
even
new
if
place.
even if you know that it will be a coffee and it will be a food and a little store and a pharmacy and it starts over again. Or it's a store, it's a store, it's a store, it's a store, and it's everything in the same store. Even if you know it's the same on every street you go, but the shops do look little different. And so the coffee shops do look a little bit different. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see them.
It's nice to see them, but you see them over the same store, like the same old thing, you eventually get tired. I mean, compared to where we came from in Sweden, we live in a very, very small city.
Yeah.
and there is places that you just want to go there and do errand and to get the hell out of that place. You don't want to like spend any extra minute there. So for us to be here like for 2-3 months is like, wow, it's an adventure. But I wouldn't advise you to like stay more than 2 months or 1 month or 1 month. Maybe it's enough, and then you start to explore, which I think is more ideal. So it will be difficult if you have like a family,
Yes,
right?
of course.
It's very difficult because everything, you've got to add on to the cost and all that. So it's going to be expensive. But and also for people like digital nomad, I think can be also, I don't know.
I'm not sure what a digital nomad do.
A digital nomad is someone who work online, or maybe they are employed by a company to work for them, or where they don't need to go to be present in the office. They can be anywhere, any part of the
Anywhere in
world,
the world and do the job for
and
the
they still
company.
do the job for the company, or they are working for their own business, a coaching business, for example. So I think it's can be a bit challenging because in Da Nang, the working hour, uh, because most of these digital nomad, they are working for American or Canadian or European countries, and usually they are Westerners, so they will have to work late because the hours is like different.
Yeah.
So maybe during the daytime they will sleep more, and then the life here starts when the sun go down. Then everything is different. So for us, we don't usually go out. For me, like today, LG said the sun is coming out and he needs to go and tan himself. I say, well, sure, good. Go by yourself. And then so I can hike. I can get, maybe I'm becoming more and more Vietnamese. I cannot stand the sun. I cannot take the sun. Mm. So I think for people like him, I think because people, he can do like the same thing over and over. He can do like the same routine like all 5 years, 6 years. I think you can, but at the same time, he needs to have this time to work on his hobby or training, and you know keep a very balanced life. I think that is the key. If you want to stay here, you make sure you have like things to do. So maybe start a hobby, maybe learn a course, go for some
Yeah.
course, and then maybe join a group like the integration group, the English speaking group. And then maybe also they need help in the orphanage. So maybe being a volunteer, if you're a pensioner, you can be like volunteering in the charity group. And there's a restaurant just not so far from us. They have this food they pack, and then they give it to those people who are poor. So I think it's really, really good. Of course, being a pensioner, maybe there's something that can be quite rewarding mentally,
Helping them. Yeah,
helping
maybe.
people and do some good things for those less fortunate people, for example. So I don't know. So in conclusion, what I personally see, he may have his own opinion. For me, I think Da Nang for me, or maybe Vietnam for me, or anybody who's living overseas, in such circumstances, you need to be like come with an open mind. You need to see what are your needs. Maybe you don't need to meet up with people. Maybe you just feel comfortable being yourself. Then I think Da Nang is a very good place because I think it's a very safe country. You can be outside for very late alone, and you don't have to be afraid. Nobody will mock you or rob you. I don't think so. I think overall I still feel Da Nang is very, very safe compared to Hoi An. I think Hoi An is, no, not Hoi An, Hanoi. Hanoi is like a crazy place. You can be robbed, with your phone. I heard a lot of people phone been snatched, but I never hear so much
From here? No,
yeah,
no, I
here.
haven't. I haven't.
So
I
for
don't know.
me, personally, in terms of security, not so much of a job opportunity, unfortunately. A lot of people starting to teach here English classes at night, which is really good. I mean, but bear in mind the pay is not high, all right? So you don't expect the kind of pay you get from Singapore or
No,
Sweden, huh?
no,
No,
not at all.
not at all. The pay
Uh,
is really bad here.
yeah, because we heard what the ladies in the lobby gets in monthly income.
Not so
and,
much.
and not so much,
Yeah.
I would say.
I don't think so for us it's even possible to survive with
No,
that
we
amount.
could. No, I don't think we would manage to live with that sum of money
Yeah.
because it's very, very low.
But
Very low.
even though Vietnamese people and expatriate people, Vietnamese people, they have all the privilege, like they maybe get a much lower rent for
Yeah,
to stay there to work.
maybe lower prices,
Mm.
but if you go to the big stores like Go
Mm.
in town and look, and then you can see the prices is a little bit higher there.
Mm.
So it, if you have the money the lobby girls get and then go to those stores,
Mm.
you will feel a little bit tag in your heart
Mm.
because you can't afford it.
The
in a
one
way.
thing I notice here, people are not that materialized.
No.
You notice that?
Not.
And they only, because they don't have so much earning, so they are restricted in their spending. It's not like in Singapore. I think people are more flashy there. They like to wear branded things.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
And then they like to show off. But I think
Yes.
here people are more humble because they don't have. And that's the one thing good about not having too much, then you don't spend too much.
Also, if you work all day, you don't spend so much money either
Yeah.
because they work.
They work
Work,
very, very
work.
long hour. And yeah, I mean, for me, I really like the people here. I just find that you just have to be aware, like, things like you can get rip off a little bit, all right? But come to think about that, compare the kind of price here you get, the benefits that you get from how cheap the cost of living here. So I don't say so much of a complaint because I find that it's reasonable, right? But of course, your expectation shouldn't be too high, right? So that is my opinion. Stay here long term? No. What about you, LG? Long term?
Long term.
Would you be
Yeah.
able to stay here like 6 months, 1 year?
No, not 1 year. Never. In 6 months, I don't think so because I have a family at home.
Yeah, yeah. Why not 6 months? Yeah, I know you have a family at home.
but then
But is there any other reasons?
another reason, then I would probably sell my house and just have my summer house and then build it a little bit more comfortable in terms of insulation, so I can be there a little bit longer in the
in the summer and the autumn.
in summer, autumn, spring, summer, and autumn. So I can live in my summer house
Yeah,
in that case.
yeah.
But also I want some winter, so it's also a little bit of challenge, the winter. A little bit of it. This year it was not so much before we left, and it has not been so much this year either way.
The snow, you mean the
Yeah,
snow?
there is no.
So I think also with Da Nang is especially Da Nang, it's the summer can be really hot, up to 40 degrees Celsius. I don't think so I can survive.
No, I don't think so either.
So the best time is actually February till maybe April, May, the most.
May, I think.
And then that's it. Then you have to get out of this place. So I don't think so it's a perfect paradise for people, even though you like the heat. But I don't think so you want to be in a 40 degrees Celsius oven, right? So,
Mm.
for something for you to think about. Don't just go ahead, move here, and then after that you cannot handle the heat, and then you regret.
And there's also another thing, the weather.
Mm,
I will say the weather we have had now this
mm,
year here
mm.
in Da Nang is a typical Swedish summer
Summer.
weather,
Mm,
but it's warmer
yeah, yeah.
because we have so now we had sun today, and I think it's the first day in 7 days
Mm,
we've seen the sun,
mm,
and it often tells us it's going to rain.
mm.
That's has not happened so much,
Not
but
accurate.
there is some a little
Mm,
bit of rain, but it's not much. But it's
mm.
very humid,
Yeah, it's extremely humid.
very humid, and it's warmer than in Sweden, in Skellefteå where I live,
Mm,
uh, because I compare it with Skellefteå.
mm.
And the typical summer weather in Skellefteå is sunny, cloudy, 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 sunny, 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 cloudy, cloudy, rain,
I
sunny,
love it.
rain.
I love the Vietnamese, especially during January till until end of March. I think it will be really nice. And I am not so sure about April though, because I think that's where middle of March they said that the season will start. Right.
Yeah, we can see that
I
because
can see that. I
it
feel
is
that.
much more tourists here now,
Mm.
and in January,
Mm.
end of January, it's very big difference.
Ah,
I think.
being a Singaporean who's used to like climate, after been staying in Sweden like for 27 years, so for me I'm getting used to the a little bit chilling. So actually I quite like the weather, the colder weather in Vietnam, because I feel comfortable. I don't feel sweaty. I felt very, how to say, acne, like disgusting.
Disgusting,
Yeah, when I'm sweating. So
disgusted.
I don't know. Maybe if you can handle the more humid and the sweat, I think it's a perfect place for you, but not in June. June, right?
That's
Not
what
in
the
June.
local says. June and
It's like a
July.
ghost town here.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't heard it, but you have heard.
Yeah, I
It's-
heard.
I
It's a
heard
ghost town.
it's very warm here, so okay. Of course they have tourists here
Yeah.
in that time, because there are tourists who want that
Hmm.
40 degrees warm.
Maybe the Nordic tourists who
I
want
don't
the
know.
extreme hot. But for me,
Maybe.
I can't handle that. I think I'm okay with January till April, and then after that I have to be back in Sweden. And also I think, yeah, not for me, not long term at least,
No,
and not
okay.
for LG too, because we have commitment. And but if you don't have a commitment, and if you want to just leave USA because of the political reason, you want to just spend like maybe the 4 years when Trump is still ruling, so maybe this is a good place for you to just try it out. But I suggest don't like get a 6 month or 3 months visa right away, because for certain part of Europe country, like in Sweden, you can actually stay here for free, visa free for 45 days. And I think there are around 17 countries you can go and check out on Google. This 17 country, you can stay here for 45 days, but not for Singaporean. I think we can only stay here like 30 days, and after that we have to renew or go back to Singapore or go somewhere else to renew the visa, come back again. Maybe that's what we should do. Go away 1 month and then come back to Da Nang if we want to, and then maybe just spend another month, and then maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah, because if the visa is not so expensive.
No, it's
So-
it's
so,
reasonable, $25.
Yeah, so it's more expensive to
Go
go
away.
away.
Hmm.
Forget the new 30 days or
Yeah.
45 days.
Yeah.
So that costs more than the visa.
Hmm.
But if you want to do that, that's quite good idea. You're here 30 days and then you go away. Maybe if you want to go back, or you go away for 30 days and come back for 30 days. Then you're away 3 months from home, and you have 2 months in Vietnam and 1 month somewhere else.
I know a lot of, I receive a lot of questions from people from, I have a lot of viewers from America and from Canada. They were like asking me question every day, how is it like, can we stay here long term, what is it like, what to expect, so like I said, individual type of situation. And then also you don't want to put everything, all your egg in one basket. You want to make sure that you have plan B, not just everything here.
Yeah.
But it's good that you come here and just try it out and feel the vibe. If the vibe suits you and you feel like you can stay here and you can do the visa run every 3 months, so by all means, go ahead and do that. But make sure you check about, like, if you have a family, education, and also insurance, and also healthcare. Because I think the healthcare is much better, I heard, compared to many other countries. And also the insurance is a bit expensive. If you were to buy local here, but it is cheaper if, like what we got 90 days
We have a 90 days insurance
insurance, yeah.
for both of us, and it costs, for us, it costs about $345.
For 3 months,
3 months. So
and
it's
both
about,
of us.
yeah, both of us.
What about people who are like retired and then they have pension in their country?
Yeah, but no, I can only speak for Sweden.
Yeah.
And for a Swede who wants to live abroad, he can live abroad and have his pension intact for 1 year. Then he loses a part of it.
Okay.
And that's what we in Sweden call garanti pension. Garanti pension is a pension you get if you have no or low pension. So you're guaranteed with some of money. But that guarantee pension can also depends a little bit, because if you haven't been in Sweden, lived in Sweden for certain times, then it gets less.
Yeah. What about if you stay more than 6 months abroad?
If you,
What happened?
if you don't say anything, it will not happen anything, I think. But if you
If they found out?
no, it can be okay in because if say I have something to do 7 months in a certain place, okay, I go there. If it's a vacation, okay, I be there for 7 months, and I tell the authorities that I will be away 7 months.
7 months. Okay.
Then I come back.
So you have to like seek approval or what?
Not seek approval, but you have, if you go abroad, stays away from Sweden, if you say 2 years, then you want to go back to Sweden, then you ask to get back the guarantee pension.
Aha.
So you can get it back then.
Okay. That's really good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. So.
And but if you go to Canada, for example, as a Swede, then you can have the whole guarantee pension intact. Yes. And also it was EU and ES and Sweden and Canada.
Okay. Oh, Canada
And
too.
Canada. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. I thought it's just for EU.
I didn't know either.
Okay. Wow.
Something new I learned
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. So not just Da Nang, not just Southeast Asia. I heard Portugal is good also, but it's expensive there. It's not cheap anymore. But like I said, don't put everything in one. If you want to talk about, if you want to get pension, I think it's better to check with your country. Yeah.
Check with your country.
Check with your country.
So that there will be no misunderstanding. So you can get what you are supposed to get.
And of course, some people who live on their pension, let's say, they don't have so much pension and then they save quite a lot of money, and then maybe they have them in the bank, and then they live on their savings and pension.
Yeah.
So that could be something that you should check it out also, because yeah, you know, when you take out money from the bank, every time you withdraw, it's a fee that you have to pay
Yeah, if you
for us.
if you withdraw money from the bank, you have to pay my bank at home in Sweden a fee. And just now I have Swedbank, and they withdraw 35 Swedish crowns each time I take something out. But I had another card, a Visa card through Klarna, and you can't take out money from that card, but you can pay with it.
I've seen a lot of people start a bank account here in Vietnam. So I don't know how it works.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Maybe there should be a limit, yeah. Like, let's say you cannot.
You can maybe you can do like this. You start a bank account here, get it approved, and when you go home to your home country, you ship money from your account at home to the Vietnamese account if you're supposed to go back and so on, and that also costs money, but then you can maybe send a huge amount of money to
But you can't do that in Sweden. Then they will call that what do you call laundry.
no, not laundry. No,
laundry.
not laundry. But you can put money from your own account to another account, because they see that you do it.
Yeah.
So they know you do it. And if you talk to the tax authorities, and they maybe you have to pay tax for that money you put away there. I don't know, but that's something you can control. But it costs about 200 Swedish crowns to send money abroad.
At one time.
One
yeah.
time. So if you send the cost for your time being spending in Vietnam, maybe.
But I think if you transfer too much money there all at once, then they will investigate you for sure.
Yeah, they think you will be
Money laundering.
yeah, something like that.
So you have to check on that too.
But if you have money on your bank, and you go to the bank and say, I want to move over to my account in Vietnam, this money, because it's expected I can leave it on that time.
Yeah, okay.
And
so
then
maybe it's a limit also. I don't think so. You can move whatever amount you want also.
You can, because you don't take the Swedish money abroad, you just send the sum. That's a little bit of different, I think.
Yeah.
Because
maybe they will say, okay, maybe 6 months. You get 6 month visa, right? Okay, this is a 6 month living cost.
So
you are allowed to do that. Maybe so.
Yeah,
we don't know, but
not really know,
because we didn't want to. We never planned our purpose to come here for 3 months. It's just to see how it works for us, for our kind of lifestyle. So if you are planning to stay long terms, I think you better have that check out before.
Really check out.
Because you can get into trouble, if you transfer too much of the money. Too much money.
No, you probably not can transfer too much money, because they will say stop.
Yeah.
That's the amount we can allow you to send abroad.
Yeah. Maybe you need to show the visa. 90
Yeah,
days.
you can you can show that you have already the ticket, or you have maybe you will even have a rental apartment.
Yeah, a contract.
Ready, a contract, so you can show them.
Okay, so I hope you guys have a little bit insight from our experience, and send us some questions if you do have any, and let us know. All right, in the comment, we welcome you to send us. We will try, or I will try my best to give you some information or any kind of link. If you want, just hit me a comment. All right.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching.
And as in the song, see you later, alligator. Bye bye.
I got some bites here now.
I got
Yeah.
a lot of. I can say like this.
Mm.
I haven't been bitten by mosquitoes as much as I have been down here in Da Nang
Yeah.
for 3 months,
Yeah.
as I've been in Sweden for 2 years.
Yeah. Bring some insect repellent. I think that would
Insect
be.
repellent.
All right. See you
See
guys.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Turn this off. Hey.